All right. There we go. We are live. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Astronomy Daily Live. Wow, it feels like it's been a long time, right? We had a OBS session day before last, and then yesterday sort of took the day off, so everybody would be well prepared for the lunar eclipse, which looks like it went off without a hitch. I uh, just jokingly, right? I always sort of hope that I don't know if I want to see this or if I don't, but if the shadow of the Earth is ever like a sharp edge like that, right? I'd be a little worried, but no, that shadow was a nice curvy thing. So yeah, the lunar eclipse was great, but yeah, it seems like it's been a long time. That's I think one of the interesting things about doing a daily live stream is that after a while, right? Once you're doing it a while, um, you know, each day at the same time, the same place, and you're going and going and going and having a good time, and then there's some kind of a break in there. It just seems, to me at least, like it's just a long time. So I'm glad everybody's back. Welcome back. I'm going to pull up my chat here really quick, and there we go. Cool. So yeah, so hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. The lunar eclipse was great. I hope you got to see it with your own eyes. That is the best way. That's the best way. But if you couldn't, either because of you know weather conditions, or you're just on the wrong side of the planet, I hope that you were able to tune in to the myriad of live streams that were going on. I popped into a few of them, but actually I spent most of my evening over on Check Me Out's Twitch stream. She's I forget exactly what she calls herself, but she does uh, um, what's called sound therapy. She's got a bunch of singing bowls and gongs, and she just makes some really wonderful sounds. And so actually, I spend most of my time over there, just listening to all the sounds. I'm really into sounds and music and all of that. Both from sort of a creative point of view and from a technical one too, right? I like to hear the shapes of sounds, right? How they rise in tone and then level off and then slowly decay, or and that's what gives each sort of instrument its own sound, right? It's called a timbre, and that's timbre, and meow. Yes, meow, Uncle Bill. And it was Uncle Bill, Mr. Ninja himself, that actually pointed me over to Check Me Out, and I'm really glad that she actually said the name of her Twitch stream, because I was, it's spelled CZE CH, right? Czech, like Czech Republic, right? And then MEOWT, and I looked at that, and like, I'm not quite sure what that means, but now it all makes sense, right? Check me out, right? Of course. And she's got at least one cat there, and then some strange thing that I'm not quite sure about. She's got some kind of statue of a cat. Hey there, Tom. Um, some kind of a statue of a cat that is some kind of I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I spent most of my time yesterday, was listening to singing bells, and about every 10 minutes running outside and looking up, and wow, it got dark. It got like super dark, and it's really cool to experience that, right? I mean, it's supposed to be a full moon night, and it's all pitch black outside. So very cool. So Bobby, did you see the eclipse?
Oh, yes, I did.
What
And I think,
what tell me what you saw.
oh, I saw like moon like really going like kind of like a bit more of a red and stuff like that. But I was actually at the PNK as well, and it was like super red and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, it's that nice sunset red. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and that's why that lunar eclipses, they always get me thinking about this project that I have, sort of whirring in the back of my head, and I think it was yesterday. I couldn't stand it anymore. I just sort of let it out. That yes, indeed, I definitely I want to pursue a project that is going to put at minimum a high definition video camera on the surface of the moon, looking back at Earth during one of these lunar eclipses. I think the view would be absolutely spectacular. I think it would be epic, and I think a lot of people would be interested in that. And on top of that, I think a lot of interesting science could be done, both during those kinds of eclipses, those kinds of events, and also if you also installed some kind of telescope, some kind of observatory up there, you can do scientifically valid research the rest of the time too. So that's an actual thing. But yeah, lunar eclipses are cool. I have seen, man, I don't even know how many I've seen. And I always, before it happens, right? Before it happens, I always sort of think the same thing. It's like, it's just a lunar eclipse. I've seen so many of them that, I mean, I know exactly what they look like. And it's like, yeah, it's no big deal. No big deal, right? And then the lunar eclipse starts, right? It starts. And you start to see, this little dark portion of the moon, right? Or, a dark shadow on the moon, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's getting darker and darker and darker. And I gotta say, and this happens every single time, right? This happens every single time. I go out right when the main eclipse starts, right? And you get that little piece of the moon gone, and something inside is just, it like turns on a switch, and it's like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And that happens every single time, right up until that moment, right? I'm like, well, this is, it's cool and all, but I've seen it, and blah, that's fine. But yeah, as soon as those photons actually hit these eyeballs, right? It's like I'm 9 years old again, and it's like, wow, this is very cool. And so yeah, I mean, for the rest of the time, you know, the whole event from you know, when you first start to see a little piece of, you know, the actual shadow of the Earth, the umbra, as it's called, you know, get to the moon until, you know, it moves all the way across and then out again. That was a few hours, right? And I was literally like every, you know, 10 or 15 minutes getting up out of the chair here, going outside and looking up, and yep, yeah, okay, there it is. Yep, very cool. This is epic. And then I come back in, I listen to more of the singing bowls, and then I go back out. And so yeah, you know, I don't know what it is about. See, and now I'm sort of, you know, back in the mental state where it's like, yeah, I've seen these. It's not all that, you know, it's not all that great. You know, I've seen them. You know, it's fine. But during that time, I guess I just go a little crazy. So yeah, well, hope everybody enjoyed that. Yeah, Bunsen. You know, when I hear the word Bunsen, I think of a Bunsen burner, right? Those Bunsen burners that you have in chemistry lab, you know, that you got to turn on, little gas burners, and so yeah, you know, the first time that I heard that word, it's like, what are they talking about? So, you know, I understand, you know, there's a history and all that. Well, hello there. Got a kitty on the lap. Things are good. Things are good. So, all right, well, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I really like Check Me Out's channel. I think she is doing some interesting stuff, and you know, she definitely understands and greatly appreciates the effects that sounds have on us, and you know, to extrapolate out from that, that's why, you know, words have such a strong effect on us, because words are merely sounds, right? It's just, you know, we've assigned you know, particular meanings to particular sounds, but in truth, it's all this is I'm just making sounds, right? And we've sort of been trained to recognize these sounds, you know, to have, you know, some kind of meaning, right? She has definitely, you know, gotten to a place where you know, she understands that you know, sounds can have a profound influence on us, and that's why, you know, as I said, you know, the spoken word for sure, all kinds of music, right? That does this really well. So yeah, Bunsen burner, man, those Bunsen burners. We had so much fun with those Bunsen burners. Yeah, great fun. I assume that those are still used in schools and in labs and everything else. And you know, it's yeah, but so yeah, very cool. Check her out for sure. I think she's I don't think she has established sort of a schedule yet, but it's sort of looking like Sunday, well, at least in the United States, like Sunday evenings is sort of her time. Uncle Bill might have a little bit more information about that. And she's a recent inductee into the knowledge Foundation. Is that it? TKF, the Knowledge
I think it's
Foundation.
called the Knowledge Fellowship.
Fellowship. Correct. Thank you, Bobby. So yeah, she's a recent inductee
And,
into that. So that's
and I just gave her a follow on my Twitch app on my Roku.
cool. Very cool. Yep. Yeah,
I had to
she's
figure it out first, but I was able to do it on the spot.
good. Yeah, it's you know, that's a one of the more clever uses of words to you know, create a phrase. I don't know if there's like a term for that or not, but yeah. So very cool. So it is completely clear outside right now. It's completely clear. It's very nice and dry. Very nice and dry. The sky conditions are prime for a telescope session. Yet I sit here not doing anything about it, and that's because the wind is blowing, and that has reminded me. I've actually been at this location for 13, about 13 and a half years now. So this, we're coming into our 13th spring here. Actually 13th or 14th spring. What happens here in the spring, especially, is that almost exactly like clockwork, the wind starts blowing at noon. Right? It's the weirdest thing. Right? It's kind of the weirdest thing that you know, you sort of notice the wind blowing here, and you look at your watch, you look at the clock, and oh, it's noon. Now, today that's not exactly the case. It started blowing a little bit earlier than that, but it's been blowing all day long, and you know, the forecast was for it to blow pretty strong until about 10 or 11 or 12 tonight here local time. So I had to make a executive decision there and cancel the op session for at least tonight. But what that did, this whole thing sort of reminded me of the fact that usually after about 10 or 11 or 12 at night here, the wind dies down, and then from then until sunrise, right? There's almost no wind at all, practically every single day, right? So I've started to think about, you know, I mean, if I'm going to be you know, one, doing my own research, and two, actually, you know, selling telescope time, then I'm going to have to, you know, take advantage of, you know, conditions when they're good, right? And if conditions are favorable for observations, you know, very early in the morning, you know, midnight, 1 o'clock, and on, then I'm thinking that I'm going to have to sort of rearrange my schedule a little bit to, you know, be able to accommodate that, right? And that may have an effect on this live stream, at least the timing of this live stream. So I've got to think about this a little bit more. But I would say right now, yeah, well, yeah, it's sort of up in the air at the moment. For right now, you know, this live stream is going to continue at this time, no matter what. no matter what, unless there's some kind of really, really crazy change, life change, which I don't foresee. But this live stream will continue. But just a very, very early warning that maybe for a while I'm going to change the time of this. I don't exactly know when that's going to be yet. So yeah, you're just going to have to stay tuned. I've got to think about it a little bit. But if I'm going to move into a mode where I have to, be up at, midnight or 1 a.m., to do some observations until sunrise, and I'm going to have to take, all my calibration data at sunrise as well. I'm going to have to actually do it in exactly the opposite way that I'm doing it now at sunset. But, that's easy to do. But if I'm going to do that, right, and then be at least moderately alive during the day, because I've still got a day job, right? Then probably what I'm going to have to do is actually probably be going to bed like really, really early, like 6 p.m. local here or so, 7 p.m. latest. And if that happens, then of course the time of this live stream is going to have to change because I'm going to be asleep. So yeah, got to think about that a little bit. Definitely nothing firm yet, but I do know for an absolute fact that in the spring here, evenings are pretty bad in terms of wind and all of that. And mornings are really, really, really nice, really nice. There's no wind. It's, well, I mean, if it's going to be clear, it's going to be clear. So yeah, just a early warning that the time of this live stream might change, just so I can accommodate these observations that I'm trying to do, at least for my own work, and hopefully to collect some data for some others who might want it. So all right, so that's that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to catch up on. Oh, actually, Bobby was asking me what I thought of the scope here. I did take it out the other night with the orange one over here, and just set it up, put an eyepiece on it, and did a star line. And actually, I think during the live stream, I tried putting my smartphone up to it, looking at the moon, and it's kind of hard to hold, so that wasn't great. They actually do make these little mount things for them, that you can put the phone on and then put it onto your scope. So that's a possibility. Although that's not incredibly interesting, and at least for me. And there are others who are looking at the moon, and so yeah, that's probably not where I'm going to go with that. I'm inclined to be collecting actual data with this scope. Scientifically valid data. So, but what that is actually going to be, I don't know yet. Don't don't really have any thoughts at all. The good news is that the optics are really, really great. What I was seeing through the eyepiece in terms of optical quality was excellent, was really, really excellent. The pointing was pretty good. It was good enough. The tracking also was good enough. So yeah, I think in terms of being able to use this for, you know, some kind of data collection. Oh, hello there. I think I definitely have got a winner. I just sort of have to decide what that is going to be, and what kind of instrumentation I'm going to have to get. And of course, instrumentation, you know, requires a whole bunch of these things, right? Right? Whole bunch of these. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, like, can you actually come up with a good price of how much you would be paying for it, both your telescopes?
Do you mean like how much do each of these cost?
Yeah.
Well, I think the 8-inch over here, I think that put me back, I want to say about $1,300 or so, something like that, which is cheap, right? That's for what you're getting. That's relatively cheap. I mean, if you want to get a really, really good mount that points and tracks really, really, really well, just the mount, you're going to spend, you know, between 5,000 and 10,000 or so just for the mount, not including the telescope itself, you know, the tube and all the optics and everything. So you know, for 1,300, this is a good deal. I think the C5s, I think a new C5, I think, is going for around, I want to say like maybe 800 or 900. I'm not exactly sure. Not exactly sure.
Now, with that said, can you think of some telescopes that could be around like the $300 to $400 range?
If you want to get a good scope in that range, you can either get a refractor, right? It uses a lens, right? And you can get a pretty decent, like 70 or 100 millimeter refractor, you know, pretty good size, with a decent mount, for I think $300 or $400 or so, and that'll do you really, really well. If you want to get something a little bit larger, definitely go with a Dobsonian mount telescope. It's probably going to be like a Newtonian focus, right? So you look on the side of the tube, right? You've got this big long tube, and you actually look at things through the side. And I'm thinking that for $300 or $400, you can probably, yeah, don't quote me, we should probably do another telescope live stream here. I think I did one several months ago, you know, just going through all the catalogs and everything, and you know, all the hello there.
Yeah, nice tuxedo kitty.
I do. He's our old guy. He's I think the oldest one we've got. Don't remember exactly how old he is, but he's getting up there. Actually, this guy's name is Deimos. He's named after one of the moons of Mars. Ew, he's drooling all over the place. Ew. Disgusting. Yuck. All right, you can stay up here if you want. Anyway, so yeah, maybe we should do another one of those where we just sort of go online, to some of the telescope places and take a look at a few of the telescopes there, because I'd like to look at some of the things that like OPT is offering. I think they offer some higher end ones, but Orion has some good scopes. Of course, Celestron and Meade, they're still going nice and strong. So yeah, we should probably do that again sometime soon here, because I know that a lot of folks who are new to astronomy, that's one of the first questions they have is what kind of telescope should I get? And there are some very, very good options, and it sort of depends on it depends a little bit on your budget, a little bit, but if you're inspired and inclined and relatively stubborn, right, pretty much anything will do. I mean, my first telescope was, I think about it now, and it's like, it was barely even a telescope, right? It was I don't even know where I got it. I might have got it, from like a friend or something, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible, but it was something, and it was enough, right? It was enough, and that's probably where I first developed this idea of use to its fullest advantage what you've got. And so if you can only afford the Walmart special, right, that might do you pretty well for a while, right? You're definitely not going to be getting the quality that is really required to get into it too much. But if that kind of keeps the spark going, then by all means do that. But yeah, I mean, if you can fork over a few $100, $500, you can get some pretty decent scopes. And like I said, the refractors are probably going to be a little bit smaller. The reflectors, I think for 500 we could look, but I think for 500 you can probably get like a 6-inch Dobsonian. Now that mount isn't going to track. It's not going to point. You're going to have to do it all manually. But I encourage everybody to do that, whether you have a motor or not. It's nice to be able to track, so you don't have to constantly be moving the scope around. But I got to tell you, right, for 30 plus years, right, my telescope, which I still have, I should show you that scope at some point. It's a scope I built when I was 12, and it's a 10-inch reflector, f5.6. It was on a Dobsonian mount, which I also built, and I still have that that mount. About 10 years ago or so, I converted it over to a German equatorial mount in the hope that I'd be able to put a motor on it and actually track. That didn't work out, but I've still got, the mount and everything, and that is completely 100% manual, right? There's no go-to, there's no paddle, there's nothing, right? You loosen up, the right ascension and declination, and you haul it around, right? And you've got to find everything by yourself. And I'm not against anyone, going straight to the go-to mount, but I've observed and I've learned that if you want to really get well acquainted with the sky, don't rely on the go-to mounts. Yes, it's instant gratification, right? If you want to see NGC 253, right? You punch it into the paddle, and it's there, right? And if you're in to just looking or just wanting to do photography or just collecting data, absolutely, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. But I found, at least, and I find that finding objects myself, manually, as they say, has quite a bit of satisfaction, that goes along with it. It's the hunt, right? And that is definitely part, at least for me, part of what the satisfaction is, in at least that aspect of astronomy. Now, when I'm doing my data collection, right, I don't necessarily want to spend time looking for my targets, right? Now, as it is, I still have to do that, right? Because the pointing of these scopes isn't quite good enough to get you there. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky and the target's there. Like the other night, I wanted to see Messier 77. It's a galaxy in, I don't remember where that is. Anyway, nice bright galaxy. And so it's like, okay, use the go-to, punch in the name, and it actually went almost right to it, right? The galaxy was just on the edge of the field of view, and so I was able to see it, and it's like, there it is, right? With these kinds of mounts, right, that's not always going to happen. And if you were watching, the last observing session, right, I typed in, the coordinates of my target star, and it, slewed to that, well, what it thought, was that location. And of course, the target star wasn't there. And for the life of me, I could not see, the pattern of stars on my chart. And so I wasn't able, to navigate around, because once I can see a pattern, then of course I can just star hop to my target. Easy enough. Interesting thing about that, and I don't know if it was the fact that the live stream was happening, and so I was feeling a little bit of a stress to actually do this or not. But literally as soon as I ended the live stream, right, I looked back at my screen, saw the pattern of stars, looked on the chart, and it's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, that was kind of funny that way. See this? Yes, yes, yes. See this. Um, so yeah, that was actually except for that beginning part. The other night was actually a pretty successful night. I got four of my targets, and then I moved over to Messier 46, which is a nice open cluster just east of Sirius. It's a nice rich field of stars, and so it's like, okay, I'll do that a while, and then I'll call it a night. And that's exactly what I did. I did encounter, though, and I saw this in my in the other night's data set, and then the previous data set, and I actually posted a few pictures of this over on my Discord server. I've got some kind of a funky thing going on that is making the stars look like little streaks. Hey there, ERRT Radio. Nice to see you.
What's up, Ron?
What's going on over there? So, not quite sure what's going on with that. I don't know if it's the tracking motors sort of wiggling a little bit. I don't know if I don't think it's the optics.
Forget that it's Earth's birthday today, or Ron.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well, happy anniversary. Another
birthday.
Spin around the... Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a birth anniversary, right?
Or what somebody used to say, a womb addiction day.
There you go. It's just another spin around the sun, right? Yeah. Let's see. ERRT Radio. I have grabbed my handy dandy calculator here, which every good scientist has within arm's reach, and I'm going to calculate approximately how far you have traveled in the past year going around this sun of ours, right? Now, it's a pretty simple equation, right? You take the distance between the Earth and the sun, and we're just going to do the average distance, right? So, I mean, it's not a perfect circle. It's pretty close, right? And you're 29 again? Cool. That's a very good age. I greatly encourage it. I am definitely, at least in my head, I'm about 26 or so. I think once I reached 26, at least in my head, that's pretty much when I stopped. So what the rest of this thing is doing, I don't know. I don't care. But inside here, yeah, it's about 26 or so. Anyway, so the average, I'm going to do this in miles, okay? So the average distance between the Earth and the sun is about 93 million miles, right? So what you do is you take the distance between the Earth and the sun, you multiply it by 2, and then in order to get circumference, you multiply that by pi, right? So 93 million times 2, and then I'm going to multiply it by pi. Whoop, I did something wrong. 93 times 2. I can do this. I can. Times pi. So, Mr. Calculator is still having a little bit. Can you see that? It's having a little bit of difficulty with this digit. All right. But so I'm not quite sure what that number is, but let's see. There's 3, 6, 9. So we're talking about in the past year, right? You have traveled about 584 million miles. So let's see, that's divided by 365-ish or so, right? So that's 16, no, I'm sorry, 1.6 million miles every day, right? Every single day. That's absolutely amazing, right? So yeah, that's a lot of traveling. Now, of course, you can take what did I say, 584 million, and multiply it by the number of times that you've gone around, and we look in a very, very, very real sense. We are all epic space travelers, right? Hey there, Ray Lyle. Nice to see you there. Cloudy,
Cold
cold, and snow covered.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, enjoy. That's all I can say, Ray.
Montreal, where Jules is at, it's got some snow as well.
It's definitely the season. Definitely the season. Hopefully, my snow season is over with. But having said that, it has snowed here at this location in early May. So I am definitely not out of that yet, but usually
And
different.
Ray had some thick clouds last night.
Yeah, well, so you actually missed it personally, but I hope that you were able to catch a few of the live streams and whatnot. So 10 degrees. Oh yeah, it's it's winter time. That's what happens. You get that low angle of the sun, and all that stuff just bounces right off. And Mr. Tim Robinson has joined the panel. Hey, what's going on over there, early bird?
Early bird, I wish. Yeah. I'm trying to keep quiet because the wife's in bed. She's really unwell. Just joined. I'm sorry, I'm a bit late, but there you go.
Yeah, well, good. I am
Cheers,
glad.
Guys.
I'm glad. Cheers. Yes, cheers.
I don't have much left, but some good old faucet water. Cheers.
Woohoo! Very cool. Very cool. Tim, were you able to see any of the lunar eclipse?
I think I saw one by P&K.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I was there at
P&K
working too, Tim.
Yeah, I wasn't on there live because the wife was really ill, so we were in bed early. I watched the catch up of it, so
yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of like a bit crazy. They don't take advantage of their flu shot advantage.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I'm glad you're able to sort of see it. I know that it was visible there, right? Or was it cloudy?
Over here in the UK?
Yeah.
It was very cloudy, yeah. It was pretty thin cloud, but it was low.
Right.
Low cloud, so it was pretty much washed out was the moon.
Yeah. It's I was talking about this before, how the full moon nights, right, are really bright. My location here, it was so dark that when the moon is out, right, it's like a floodlight, right? It's like super bright out, and so when there's an eclipse, it's kind of eerie, spooky, when it just, slowly gets darker and darker and darker, and then mid eclipse, it is literally just pitch black outside again.
When it's so dark,
And
it probably feels similar to a solar eclipse in the daytime.
Yeah. So, well, cool. I'm glad you could pop in for a little while.
My pleasure.
Yeah, Ray, I was actually gifted this scope just a couple days ago, and was able to take it out the other night and check it out in terms of just quality of the optics and everything else, and it looks good. It looks really, really good. Just threw the eyepiece on there and checked it out that way. Optically, looks really, really great. Seems to point pretty well. It seems to track pretty well. Don't quite know what I'm going to do with it yet.
Is that one computerized?
It is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's
looks a nice piece of kit.
Yeah. It's a Celestron.
Okay, Ray Lyell, is it easy to align with your new scope?
Yeah. This actually the alignment, and I've got to think about this a little bit. This alignment to align this is slightly different than the orange one here, in that with the orange one, I have to tell it, time and date, and then I do 2-star alignment. With this guy, what it wants me to do first is set it level, right? So it's like that, and then I do a 2-star alignment. So I don't have to tell it what time it is or what day it is. I just have to do, those 3 steps, and so yeah, pretty much about as easy as that one. So yeah.
I guess I've used your shortwave radio for something else besides really listening to some international broadcasts.
Well, I'm gonna have to do that because and I don't know where the shortwave is. Oh, it's over there. Yeah, that's and that's pretty much the only thing that I use my little shortwave for at the moment is listening to WWV when the need arises. So yeah, I've got to get an antenna and all of that, right? Because reception inside the house here is like 0. So but that'll happen. But yeah, it's a nice scope, really, really nice. As I said, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Hello there. Are you enjoying yourself? I hope so. All right.
I might want to try to catch that as well, Ray. Caught UBB-76, the buzzer, the Russian buzzer.
The Russian buzzer. Is that a jamming thing, or what is that?
It's like a regular shortwave station from Russia. And you can really, if you go on an European SDR or go somewhere in Europe, you can definitely hear the buzzer at night.
But I mean, it's just a buzz. Is that all it is?
I heard that the buzzer station also does voice messages. It's probably like a number, so it's like a buzzer station and probably just a number station as well.
Okay, cool. All right, well, enough of all that. I'm looking at the time and noticing we're kind of getting close to the hour, but let's just pop over to the the research notes of the American Astronomical Society really, really quick. They're this. They've been doing this for a little over a year now, a year and a few months, where research astronomers, theoreticians, I guess probably anybody, can write these fairly short papers. I think they're limited to like 1,000 words, and one image, and have them published, right? And the turnover is supposed to be relatively fast, right? I think they're advertising like 72 hours. Haven't quite seen that yet, but easily within a week, right? So you send in your paper. I guess you should call it a paper, and they sort of look at it a little bit, make sure that it's well written and not too sort of far out, and that's sort of a subjective thing. And then they'll publish it, and this I think is a really, really great way to sort of report early work, or if you have some kind of a discovery or some kind of an observation, and scientists want to tell everybody about their work, right? They don't like to hold anything back, right? When they make a discovery, it's like, hey, everybody, look at this. That's one of the cool things about science, is that it's always been pretty open, right? There aren't really any secrets per se. So this is a means of sort of very, very rapidly letting the world know that something is happening, or some kind of discovery or some kind of research is going on. So so I like to go over there maybe once a week or so, and just sort of look in and see what's sort of new. It's sort of a nice supplement to archive.org, arxiv.org, that puts out the more formal, longish papers that although they come out each weekday, usually has taken a few weeks or a few months to actually get to that stage. With the research notes, those they submit them, and it comes out really, really fast. So so let's go over there really, really quick and take a look. I'm going to I think I had it pulled up here already. Let me go back to where I was. Okay. Whoop. There it goes. Okay. So I'm gonna share the screen. Share the screen. Share the screen. Go to infinity. Woohoo! I don't know about you, but I love going to infinity. I do that as often as I can. All right. So here we go. Research notes of the American Astronomical Society, a non-peer-reviewed, indexed, and secure record of works in progress, comments and clarifications, null results, which is always nice, or reports of observations. So far, all of these have been free. I hope that continues. It may or may not. I don't know. But let's sort of look at the latest ones here that have come down the pike, as they say. For some reason, this is loading a little bit slowly here. But yeah, I think this goes all the way back, yeah, to 2017. I think their first issue was, I want to say like October or November of 2017. So all these are accessible to, you know, all of us. So
I hope it's not your potato net again.
oh, it probably is. Probably is the potato net. Although the really interesting thing is that you know the streaming to Tim and to Bobby is alive and well. All right, there's no delay.
And I don't see you blinked out yet. So I guess it's the internet.
Yeah, it might be. Let me try to reload it here really quick. See
your
if
lips and your audio are in sync.
Yay. That doesn't always happen, even in real life.
You know, if you right-click on the tab you're at now and click on reload, it's usually better.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's, you know, a good piece of software. Good piece of software always has multiple ways to do the same thing. So yeah, I don't know why this is taking its sweet old time here. I can try it. I can try it your suggested way. Reload.
There you go.
See if it wants to do it. I was just looking at this before the live stream, so I don't quite know why it's deciding to have a little fit here. Okay, so there I did a reload. So now I'm gonna.
Slow down because of all of the eBay windows you've got open looking at telescopes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh no! It's not telescopes. He's looking at porn.
Oh, of course. It's all those. It's all the video.
Oh, you mean the pawn shops?
Yes, it's all that.
I posted something on my radio Discord server, and it says, and the wife was really mad with the husband. And he said, "You got 12 already. What get porn instead?"
Yeah. Well, you know, the only porn that I really enjoy is Mars porn, and right. We actually view that on this live stream relatively
As the
often.
aliens said to each other, "You are now pregnant."
That's it. All right,
pull my finger.
Let's pull your finger.
Thank God Ottolana's not here because we will never be waddle.
All right, so let's see what's going on here. Non-detection, right? Non-detections are useful things, right? You know, because I mean, if somebody comes out and says, "Hey, you know, I think that we saw blah 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 blah," and then somebody else can say, "Okay, I'm going to go and look," and if they don't see it, well, that's actually pretty valuable. So I sort of appreciate those, right? You know, the fact, you know, that something wasn't found. That's almost as valuable as, you know, things actually being found. So I can definitely appreciate that. Solar coronal structure, loops, clouds, or both?
Settle down, Bobby.
Bobby.
Hey, blame my uncle. He's always accusing me of watching something like that.
Well, like I said, you know, we'll definitely do a Mars porn show here really soon, and that usually gets everybody pretty excited. So, but that's about as excited as I want to get. So,
I must admit, when I watch that, I go like, "Wow, look at the antennae on that."
You bet. Woohoo! Exoplanet atmosphere forecast. Observers should expect spectroscopic transmission features to be muted to 33%. That's huh. You know, all of these kinds of things are sort of based on models. Is my guess. I guess they're talking about actual spectra. I didn't think that we were getting any spectra from exoplanets quite yet. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. So, well, all right. It's
and we got a newcomer, Michael Brown.
Michael Brown. I want to take a look here too. Hey there, Michael Brown. Nice to see you in the chat. Welcome to Astronomy Daily Live. Mars porn, star porn, rocket porn, computer porn. Yeah. Awesome. Yes.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey there, Patrick. Nice to see you. And yeah.
Hello, Mr. Money.
Patrick, I dare say that you're just one of the crowd here. So, welcome. welcome. So, all right, let's keep looking around here a little bit. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this we actually looked at before. Remember?
Hey, check the chat.
Check the chat. I need to check the chat again.
Apparently, we're talking about space porn.
Yeah, it's gone off to left field here. I have absolutely no control over these guys whatsoever, which is great. That's just how I like it. But
when the government opens up, we'll start being paid, and then we'll behave.
There we go. Usually, Michael Brown, we're talking astronomy and science and space and all things nerdy, right? But mainly astronomy here. And at the moment, we're just looking at some recent submissions to this thing called the research notes of
lettuce,
the American Astronomical Society. Yeah, welcome to the lettuce bin. That's what this is all about. So yeah, I think we saw that one before. So let's keep going here. On the secondary of Pi Piscium. I don't know what the secondary of Pi Piscium is, unless it's like a binary star of some sort. Let's just take a quick look here and see. So the fifth magnitude star Pi Piscium is an early F-type star. Rotational velocity of 110 kilometers per second. Possibility that it's a non-single, which means a binary, right, of some sort. Clearly support the case of astrometric binary. Percent high signal to noise, high resolution observations that indeed disclose Pi Piscium as a double-lined spectroscopic binary. So what that means, right, is that they can look at this object and notice that the spectrum of it, right, they can measure the spectrum of this thing, and they actually notice that it changes, right? And
okay, check the chat again. And what do you think about Michael Brown?
What do I think about Michael Brown? What do I think about Michael Brown? Let's see. Where is that? That's somewhere in Mexico. That's somewhere in Mexico. So I don't think so, unless no. Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure where that is. 22. Yeah, that's somewhere. That's probably somewhere in Africa. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Well, we'll keep an eye on Michael Brown. Um, uh, okay, yeah. Well, he is definitely following me. Yeah, let's keep an eye on him. Maybe we can bring him into the universe a little bit instead of floating out there in the periphery. So cool. We will keep an eye on you, Michael Brown. Do not fret. Do not despair. However, I'm thinking about spectroscopic binaries and the fact that this is really amazing, right? This is a really bright star, right? Fifth magnitude star, right? This star has been observed forever, right? I mean, we can see this brightness of a star with no help whatsoever, right? Now, a fifth magnitude star is pretty faint, so you got to be out where it's really, really, really dark. But it's visible with the naked eye, right?
Quick fire, Bobby.
So the interesting thing is, did you fire him off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was trying to send help. He was trying to spam bomb and stuff. I was like, bow it.
Give him the hammer. Give him the hammer. Yeah. Sorry, Michael Brown. I appreciate the attention, though. I definitely do. That's that's kind of an interesting indicator.
It was Bobby who whomped him, Patrick.
Yeah.
Quick fire, Bobby.
Yes. Hammer. Give him the hammer.
Smoking pistols, Bobby.
So anyway, this is very, very cool, right? That a very well-known star, right? It suddenly has been determined that it's a binary star, and that's very, very cool. It's very, very, very cool. They actually are showing a spectrum here too of it. So I guess it's the top one. So very cool.
Speaking of having to have some form of moderation, do you think like Ray and Patrick should be wrenched?
Yeah, I suppose that's a possibility. I'll think about it. I'm like I said, I don't know if this channel is quite I don't know if that's totally necessary yet, but yeah, we'll think about it. I'll think about it a little bit for sure. Let's see. Comparatively weak source. Very cool. So yeah, even though this star has been known for forever, right? Just now, right? Just now. When was this actually put out? Right, January 7th, published on the 14th. These folks seem to be pretty sure that, and lots of stars are in binary systems or more, triple stars, quadruple stars. So not too surprising, but very cool.
Okay, we got a new one. Check the chat.
A new one. All right. Well, it's about. I think it's about time to get out of here anyway, and I'm gonna have my own fun, because Bobby can't have all the fun. So it's just gonna go like that.
Bobby just watches all the porn. All of it.
Just bam. just smashed. Just absolutely smashed. So I hate to have to do that, but you know, I mean, yeah. Except for the porn, I definitely want to keep this on astronomy. So,
do you know one thing? A sign of people coming in to troll and spam. That's a sign that you're getting popular.
It's a sign. It is definitely a sign, and you know, is that a good thing? Yeah, I suppose. You know, my goal here in doing this live stream is to not necessarily get popular or big or anything else. I think I'm just going to let that happen, right? I mean, if it gets big or popular and all that, that's cool. My whole thing, share the passion, right? I love astronomy, I love space, I love science, and so that's what I'm going to share. And you know, the fact that, you know, we're getting some trolls in here, that's a you know, a sign that, you know, popularity is going up, which is very, very cool, you know, because, you know, the more people in here, you know, the more I can share, and that's exactly what I want to do.
You know, so I have a friend who does an RC channel, remote control, planes, boats, drones, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And he made a video thanking all of the people who came to troll because they trolled him, posted the video that they were trolling him, and that got him more subscribers.
There you go. There you go. The trolls play a vital role in this whole thing. So
even amoeba have a use.
Absolutely. You know, I observed this a while ago. We all sort of have our place, and every place is pretty valid, right? You know, we all have to do something, and you know, I think we're all doing it really, really well, you know, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, we got another one just popped up and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Well, he's not trolling yet, but just letting you know we got a newcomer.
Cool. Hey there, Jeff. Nice to see you. Actually, I'm gonna cut this live stream off. I usually like to go about an hour. It usually goes a little bit over that, but I am here every single day at 2 hours UTC. I've got a great circle of friends, ever growing circle of friends. They like to come in, you know, talk all things astronomy, space, science, all kinds of nerdy things. You know, we talk some radio stuff. Yeah, you know, I like the tangents. Cool. So I like to keep it really, really loose, really casual and fun. I'm not here trying to teach anybody anything or trying, you know, to communicate science or anything. I think all those things will happen, you know, by themselves. I'm just going to show up here every single day and talk about things that I like. That's cool. That's super easy and really, really fun. And so, yeah, cool. But trolls or whoever you are, welcome and come on back. Come on back, because I will be here once again tomorrow in a little less than 23 hours from now. So take care, everybody.
Got to say it on the spin.
I definitely have to in a little less than one spin. Okay, hold on to your hat, Tim, because it's a dizzying ride. All right, so you got to hold on tight. Right,
I've glued it on.
Good. Because otherwise, right, it's gonna fly off in no man's land. All right, take care, everybody. I will see you in a little less than 23 hours from now. Peace, cheers, and all that.
Cosmic. Thank you very much indeed.
Take care, you guys. I will see you later. Bye.
Have fun.